is this. So she says, the priest asked me to ask you, what was the last sin he confessed? So here's the answer from the Lord, and she figures, well, I better go tell the priest. So she let the priest know, and the priest came by for a visit, and he said, okay, so Jesus has appeared to you again, apparently. And she said, yes. And he said, do you remember you were supposed to ask a question? He said, I do. And I did. And she said, I asked the Lord, I said, what was the last sin that the priest confessed to you? I mean, when I heard the story, I was like, oh my goodness, what did the priest confess? And she said, I asked the Lord that, and he gave me an answer. And he said, okay, what did he say? He said, I can't remember. And it wasn't, I can't remember because it's been so long since he confessed. It was, he's confessed, it's forgiven, it's gone. I don't think about that stuff. I can't remember the sin. And the Word promises that to us. The sin is removed from us as far as the east is from the west. The Lord doesn't sit up in heaven just dwelling on our pasts and our sins just for fun. He's got a lot of better stuff to think about, like you. He likes to think about His children. And so you might think, well, what about, I said, what about stuff that's happened to me? I mean, you don't know what's happened to me. Somebody treated me poorly, and I don't think I'm that lovely or lovable. Does anybody have any cash on them? I mean, this is a good illustration. Who's got some cash? I love cash. 50 or 100? Anybody got a 50 or 100 on it?
Yeah, Mike.
Plastic.
Oh, there we go. Is that real?
Pass a rock.
Someone's paintball money.
No. Some of you may have seen this before, but it really helps illustrate it well. What do we have here? A nice crisp 50? Now, what if I do this to it? And I put it down here, and I do a bit of this to it, and, I've probably stepped in some gross places around the camp here, and all this stuff, and I could put it, in my armpit for a second. It's like, oh, we got... Now, would anybody like this still?
Yeah, I'll take it.
No, but you don't know what's happened to it. You don't know where it's been. You don't know what other people have said about it. It's crinkled now. You don't want this, do you? Who would want this?
Here, I'll take it.
Now I've got to give it back where it came from. The reason why you still want the 50 is because regardless of what happened to it, the value hasn't changed. Right? And some of us have had some bad things happen to us, but it hasn't changed your value. You are still worthy of all the love that God intends to give you. You can't argue with Him on that subject because He'll be relentless in His love to you. He doesn't remember your sin. He doesn't look at what happened to you in bad experiences somehow devaluing you. He just loves you. Nothing you could do could ever cause God to love you more. Isn't that a refreshing thought? Some of us have been working real hard to just get His attention a bit more, and hopefully He'll notice, and maybe He'll give, maybe He'll love you.